This is Beyond the Bell Tower, where an elite group of North Carolina State University students give us a behind-the-scenes look at their steps to success and show us how they attain even their lofty goals. These students, who are in the top 10% of the country, are active in Student Support Services at NC State, a nationally recognized program designed to provide support for low-income, first-generation college students. Nationally, this population has an 11% graduation rate within 6 years. The Student Support Services students surpass that rate each year and go on to become doctors, dentists, accountants, and engineers. They work at Google, Apple, and the NCAA. They have earned PhDs in Ivy League colleges. These students go well beyond the bell tower to reach this level of success.
So, welcome back to Beyond the Bell Tower. This is Ricky Dowse. So I am here with one of our trio students, Qulea Anderson. You probably know her best as Qulea. I know her as Qulea, and so that's what I'm going to continue to call her throughout the rest of this episode. So, hey, Qulea.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Since the, 4 hours since I've seen you.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, because me and Qulea, we live together, so it's just this is going to be basically us, just sharing her story. So how long have you been at State, and how long have you been a trio student?
This is my second year at State, so it's also my second year being a trio member. I am technically a senior, but it's I'm a sophomore in my head because I only been here 2 years. And I'm an English major with a creative writing concentration. And I'm enjoying it, except for I'm taking all of my core classes at once.
And that's because of, all the credits that you had from coming in as an early college student, right?
Yeah. So it's I brought in 2 years worth of credits, basically, because you leave there with an associate's degree. So it's I came in with all these credits, and it's it kind of boosted me up to
Oh, so that's why you're a senior, technically, but you've been here 2 years, so
yeah,
you're a sophomore, but a senior by credits.
Yeah, so I'm an SS.
Yeah, that's good. Don't tell anyone you're a senior by credits. They will immediately tell you you're a sophomore.
Oh yeah, I don't tell nobody. I'm a whole second year. I'm sophomore. To anybody who asks.
So you were saying early college. That is how you got all your credits coming into NC State. So yeah, just tell us a little bit more about your early college experience and, just kind of bringing those credits in and having an associate's degree coming into State.
Early college, it was an experience. Only reason because at home, it's 3 different high schools. So you get to put which one's your number 1, number 2, 3 and whatnot. And I got accepted to early college, which was good because it's a smaller setting. So it's you get a little bit more one-on-one time with your teachers. And I'm going to say it's socially and then actually learning material. But it's been a rocky thing because my freshman year at early college, I was meeting new people, making new friends. And then, my mom was sick. She had lung cancer because she hard-headed and didn't want to stop smoking cigarettes. And so she died, during my freshman year in high school, and I think it was a couple weeks after my birthday, and a little bit before my dad's birthday. And that was kind of rough. It was an adjustment to get used to, because it was my family friend aunt moved in with us to kind of help, because my dad know what to do with me because he'll know much about girls. So it was and then feminine wise, it was left to her and and then a friend of mine named Ashley. So they was helping me keep my hair up, help me with other girl things that my dad decided he didn't really want to be a part of.
Yeah, because dads just don't understand sometimes. There are certain things that, mothers are there for that dads, just can't, quite fill those shoes all the way. So I know you were missing, that influence of a mother, especially during high school.
Yeah. Because I was, in the middle of trying to, get my permit, and it was just, I think I got it before she passed, so, we good. But it was just, everything after that was, a mess. Because it was, I was, taking care of her and my dad. But then, once she died, it was, oh, I just got one pair to take up. It was, one less headache to deal with. It was just a mess. I think I had broke down in the middle of the hallway. Like, I was like, how you like dramatic, like, oh my God, like you grab onto like the wall. I did that.
So, okay, you mentioned that you were also taking care of your father. Like, what was going on with him? Was it like they were both sick around the same time, or was it just like your mom got sick and you were taking care of her, and then you were taking care of your dad?
I think my dad got sick first. Then I think my mama got sick following that because she was smoking cigarettes every day, all day. Hard head stuff, didn't want to stop. Then she tried to stop, and I think she stopped, and then like she went back to it. So then I was take care of both of them at the same time because my brother wasn't really doing a whole lot because Sean was doing whatever Sean wanted to do, and Sean had a kid, and then Sean was still doing whatever Sean wanted to do. So after like mom died, it was like I kind of just focused on dad because by then he was like, I guess, a full blown diabetic. So it was like had to do his insulin shots, check his sugar, and then he's on I think he's on like 30 medications I had to remember. So it was like every like night I had to like, I think by then, by a certain time I figured out how many pills and what pills like he needed by like memory. So I remember I had to get him like Ambien. Dang, it's hard to remember it now. But it's like a bunch of different medicine. Some with an M, some with a Z. It just, and I had to get him like some fish oil pills, and it made his breath stink.
Like a random detail to remember.
It was like I had to like do all his medicines. I had to start giving him his insulin shots.
And all this was going on like while you were still in high school. Like, what age were you approximately whenever like you were taking care of your dad at this point?
15. I think I had just turned 15. So it was like from like 9th grade all the way to like senior year, kind of. I was like taking care of him, waking up at like maybe 4 in the morning because he had to go to dialysis, be there like around like 7. But I had to like get up and actually get up out of bed, go cook him something to eat, make sure his bottles are filled with ice, and he had some else to drink to go with it. Pack his bag up so he had like his phone, his like a blanket, food, and then whatever else he needed, and then make sure he's ready. Like find him something to wear to dialysis because they gotta like. It was like he had the port. I think first he had it in his arm, then they moved it like near his heart basically, because like the one in his arm kept messing up. So make sure it was like they could like get to the little port. And it was just like, it was tiring because then I had to get up and get ready to go to school and make sure I ate me something because like breakfast at school ain't always good.
Yeah, so that's like a lot of responsibility for a young person to have, especially so young and like senior year, junior and senior year especially, because I know like my junior year, my aunt died and like trying to deal with, SATs, ACTs, and all those other stuff like during junior year and senior year alone. That's stressful. So, like, how did you, like, deal with that? How did you deal with everything going on those last couple of years? Because, I mean, obviously you made it through. You're here now. So, how did you, like, deal with taking care of your father and then, like, his eventual death, like, while trying to also make sure you got into school?
I was just, like, I guess just going by because, like, I kind of kept to myself as, like, a child. So it's like if anything was bothering me, I kind of like just talked to like my best friends, or I just like turn to like reading stories or maybe writing as like an outlet. So where I can just like.
Well, that makes sense. You're an English major now, so that ties in together perfectly.
Cause like I would like also make like this little like fake reality in my head, and I'll sit in there for a while. Cause then I'm not just like Qulea, like being called every 5 minutes to go do something. It's like Qulea, you just chill and do what you want to do. And it was hard because like I said, it was annoying having to be like called every 10 minutes to come do something. Qulea, come do this. Qulea, come scratch my back. Come pass me the remote. Fix me something to drink. Let the dog in. Because my brother had a child, so like Sean was off doing whatever Sean wanted to do. Sometimes either he was at work or he's hanging out with his friends. So like I was trying to like help my dad and watch my nephew, which is annoying because like he's a baby and it's like you can't leave him alone for so long. It was just extra, and then it got better. but it got worse because then he started kind of going blind in one of his eyes. And then my senior year of high school, well, technically it's my senior year, but with early college you're there for 5 years, but I was graduating early, so senior year was like my legit senior year. So towards like the spring part of my senior year, we was like planning for prom, and then I had got my letter from state saying I was accepted and all that stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot going on senior year, like a bunch of stuff being thrown at you at one time.
And so like, I remember one day me and Dad had this like, we brought up like his little physician mutuals thing, like they give you like a little funeral planning book basically. So one day I was like, hey yo, we need to like kind of like finish this. Or either one of us brought it up. I'm assuming probably him. He probably knew he was going to, like, something was going to happen. So, because he had, like, this bad feeling. And so we, like, picked out his colors, who was going to be what, and, like, everything. And then March 25th, no, I'm saying 24th, like, late that night, he noticed something, like, was off. He had, like, passed gas, but it won't gas. So, it was, like, so we had to call my cousin. And we went to Durham. We got up there. We dropped after like a little wait in the like the emergency room part. They called him back. Then they was like, "Oh, your dad's having a heart attack." I'm like, "What?" Because he didn't like show any symptoms of like, because like
there's usually like signs for that.
But like a couple days before, he was like, he felt something was like something like on his, something was like wrong with his chest.
Yeah, that's one of those signs.
But it was just like, it took like, how long was he having this heart attack? Because it was like, he said something like, he felt somewhere with his chest. He called the ambulance, whatever. They was like, the closest we can take you is the Granville. He don't want to go there. So they're like, we can't do nothing for you, whatever. Because we can't pass with so many hospitals. And so then, like, so after that, this when we took him to Durham, they're like, oh, your dad's having a heart attack. And he, like, told me, like, to go, because I was going to stay with my cousin, Pumpkin. And he was like, just go ahead, go with Pumpkin, I'll be okay. And he said, he was like, I love you. And I said something stupid, but I said, oh, man, in it. Like, and then, like, I left out. Oh, I think I'm about to cry. I hate this.
Oh, it's okay if you cry, honestly. I came close to crying during my podcast because I had to talk about Jasmine and everything that happened with her. So
you made me cry doing that. I want to be like, yeah. I cried for like 10 minutes straight, and I hate you for it.
It's okay. I hate me for it because I don't show my emotions like that, and I know you don't either, because we're both like silly people. We both laugh at like the stupidest stuff and just do crazy things to like deal with what we have going on sometimes. So it's like emotion isn't something that you show a lot, and I know that because I do the same thing. But it's fine if you cry. It's fine if you show emotion, because anyone who's listening right now understands what you're going through, or they have like sympathy for what you're going through.
And we get back, I think we get there like, we get back to like, because my cousin lived in Henderson, so we get back to his house maybe like 1 or 2. Tell me why, as soon as I step toe in Pumpkin's house, and I don't think I put my bag down yet, I got a call. I'm just like, who calling me? What? It's like, it's late. Who calling me? I answered it, and it was like, is this like who is this, like whatever? I'm like, this is like Qulea Anderson. It was like your father, whatever. And it was like something about resuscitate. I'm just like, what? Resuscitate? Resuscitate who? What you mean? Like, I'm like in shock. I'm just like, I think I tried to say, like, do what you can, but I couldn't talk because, like, I guess I was, like, shook. So I gave my phone to my cousin, and he's like, what is it? I'm like crying. And I'm just like, it's dead, something, doctors or whatever. And he's trying to talk to them. Then tell why my phone cut off. Like,
probably, like,
no, it won't dead. Like, no, I think they finished talking about something, and then, or either, like, my phone lost service because, like, Punky lived in the cut. But it was, like, my card had ran out, so it was like I had to like refill my phone, and then like, so by then they had like called like the next contacts, I guess was like Diane. So all of us heading up to the hospital. There's like, because I guess he died like that morning to like the Friday morning. Like how they start your Friday off? No, I started my Friday off with my dad dying. So like I text my friend, I was like, my dad, I'm my dad, like dead or whatever, and she was like, what you mean? But yeah, we all get to the hospital, whatever. And I'm standing beside Ashley. It was like that was my brother's girlfriend at the time. And my stupid self was like, hey, yo, guess what? She was like, what? I was like, we got something in common. She said, what? I said, both our dads are dead.
But, at first you were just kind of like in shock, and then the humor kicked in to like help you cope with it.
Yeah. But yeah, after that, it was like, had to tell everybody not everybody at school, but like that the teachers know, because like we had to plan the funeral. That was a mess, doing all the like insurance stuff. It's like a lot. It's a lot because as soon as like we got back home, the same day, my aunt was like, "Where his insurance policy stuff? Get this stuff out the way. He just died like 5 seconds ago. Can we at least have like 30 minutes?
Like a second to mourn. Can we let the fact that he is gone just sink in for a minute before we go into like the business as usual?
Yeah,
pretty much.
Like I didn't mind, but I'm also just like, can you like hold up for like 5 minutes?
And that happens sometimes when I won't even say sometimes. It happens like pretty quickly after someone dies. Because I know when my aunt died, I wasn't in the room with her, but we were all at the hospital when it happened. And so like basically like the second she was gone, doctor was like, okay, so where do we need to move her? So like the hospitals in general, some are pretty, cool about, giving you a few moments to grieve or whatever. But for the most part, like the medical business is exactly that, a business. So like you have to be like, hey, where do we move this body? Who's gonna be taking care of this sort of situation? So you basically lost like both your parents within the span of your like entire high school career.
Basically.
And I know that's like a lot for a young person to try and handle. And then like on top of all that, you're still like trying to get ready to go to school, because you said at that point you'd already been accepted into state.
Yeah, I was like more focused on like trying to like get graduation and like start, cause finals started in April for like Vance Granville, because we graduated in May or whatever. So I'm just like, oh, dad dying. I have to go to class. I had to study for finals. I had to prepare for graduation. I had to make a speech because I was like salutatorian.
Same, girl, number 2.
Yeah.
Salutatorian, yep.
It was a lot.
So like, had you completed your FAFSA and all that by the time like you were starting to do finals? Because I know they recently changed the rules with FAFSA to allow like students to get it done in October, but we weren't the lucky few to like have that option when we graduated. It was like January 1st. So
I think ours like was,
and if
like,
your taxes weren't done, you had to wait a little later to get those out there. Because I know personally, like January 1st was when the application opened, but no one has their taxes or W-2s on January 1st. So I had to wait until my dad's W-2s came in, which was like somewhere in February. And then when he got his taxes done and then had the tax papers come back, which was around March. So I didn't turn my financial aid, like FAFSA, in until March. So like, how did you go about doing all that?
So after my dad died and whatnot, that the school knows, like they know I basically don't have any income, or like I don't have anybody's taxes to go on.
Yeah.
But I talked to my counselor, and they was like, since like both my parents are dead, and I don't have any contact with like my biological parents, there's like I had like a special circumstance on my FAFSA. So it's like I gotta answer no to basically every single thing on there. You say like I don't have anything to put for like tax information because I don't have access to it. And then I had to send like I can't remember, I had to send in like a death certificate or like a piece of my mom was a piece of paper that said like I'm basically like the people who raised me, they were like my guardians and stuff, and then so it's like since they're dead, I don't have access to their information. So it was a process. I did it. I think I either finished it in March. I did my FAFSA in March. Oh, I don't know. I can't remember if I didn't finish it in March or in April.
I definitely I finished mine somewhere around March, just because like no one has their taxes done in January. So I'm like, it was always like my senior year. I didn't know anything about FAFSA at all because I'm a first generation college student. Mm-hmm. Go trio. Yeah, so no one in my family knew anything about how to fill in a FAFSA or anything like that. But I did kind of have, some guidance here and there from my parents when I could get it. So, like, you were really figuring all this out on your own.
Basically, I just had like my counselor and then like my cousin because she used to be the counselor at early college. So like both of them and like calling people at stage trying to figure out what I got to do, who got to sign what, got to get like two people like to write letters saying like they know me for this long and then this is my situation. I guess like to prove that I won't lying. I mean, but like why would I lie about my parents? I like that's somebody.
I would hope they would think you lie about that. So, you know, obviously at this point, you know, both your parents had passed away and you said you didn't have any contact with your biological parents. So, like, who exactly were resources, you know, that at the time that you could, like, count on to, like, because, I mean, you still had March through August to get through before you came on campus or anything. So, like, that's a long stretch of time. You're just, like, chilling, not knowing what to do. So, like, what kind of people did you have as because, I mean, did you even have anywhere to stay?
We had the house. I don't know, because, like, he was in bankruptcy. So, like, everything, the house, the car and stuff was, like, under that. So, it was, like, he couldn't pay them, like, I don't remember if he paid them, like, their last payment, like, before he died. But it was, like, they're gonna have to come take it whenever. It's been, like, almost a year. And it's still sitting there. But it's, like, they could have accessed, like, the one side of the house. And, but it's, like, we had the house while I was, like, that summer, like, of and whatnot. So I was, like, me and my brother was staying there, kept, like, the lights on, the cable, all the, like, stuff we needed. But, like, I didn't know when they were going to take the house. So it was, like, I packed up most of my closet and everything and brought it to NC State. Like, I had, like, 6, like, giant tubs of stuff with me. Like, I was gonna, like, live there for the rest of my life.
I remember. You came in with your entire house pretty much. Because I remember last year, like, you just came in and you had basically, like, a caravan of people with you. And there was, like, your entire house pretty much was in Bragaw Residence Hall. Anyone who's listening to this podcast who's lived in Bragaw, like, the rooms are big. They're not that big. They're not that big to hold all the stuff she brought in. So it's like that you had to bring all your stuff with you.
Yeah, because
I mean, you knew you weren't going back there.
Yeah, because, like, I didn't trust my brother to, like, know what he was doing. So I'm like, I don't know when they come to get stuff, how long they gonna let us, like, have, like, they might, like, the 30-day thing, like, get stuff out and go. I got my cousin Amy to, like, take some of my stuff to her house. And my brother put some stuff in, like, storage. And so I was like, at NC State, I still kind of had most of my entire wardrobe and little knickknacks with me. And it was just, like, trying to think about that and, like, where I'm going to live. And I end up...
in freshman year, Lord knows, is not, like, the time to be having all this on your mind.
It is.
Because freshman year is, like, it's been a hot minute since I've been a freshman. But I remember, it's, like, it's so much stuff you're figuring out between, like, finding out where your classes are, how to navigate campus, you know, figuring out where little community or, like, what communities you belong to or what you're going to be a part of and that sort of thing. So, like, all the typical freshman trials and tribulations on top of you trying to figure out, yo, Thanksgiving's coming up. Where am I going to be staying? Because I remember that conversation, like, when it came, like, as the holidays were getting closer, I remember you were just talking about, like, I don't even know where I'm going to go. And I remember I told my mom that, and she was just like, oh, poor baby, she can come stay with. I'm like, you're not bringing no more people in this house. I look at here, I don't even know this girl.
Yeah, like,
at that point, I didn't anyway.
Like, it's too early for that. Like, we just met. But it was like, I ended up staying with my cousin, Amy. She had, like, this little guest room that I was, like, gonna stay in. But, like, at first I was sleeping, like, on her couch. And then, like, she got me, like, this little, like, full-size little mattress to have in the guest room. And then, like, so, even though, like, I was staying with Amy, it was, like, I was still, like, kind of, like, house hop. Because, like, my brother was still, like, dating Ashley around this time. So I go stay at her house with her mom and my nephews. Or I go stay at an old friend of mine. I go stay with him and his family. Because they love me And they just, I guess, like one, like in her, like his mom really like enjoyed me over there a lot, so I go stay with them, or like my best friend. So it's like I had people looking out for me, and I'm really glad for them. Glad. I really appreciate them.
Grateful is the word.
You know what? I said appreciate, and that's what I'm gonna keep.
You were like, I'm really glad for them. I'm like, grateful is the correct term. I'm sorry. Oh, goodness. So, yeah, you had your resources at home, and that's, like, you know, a great thing. And then got to NC State, joined Trio.
Met Ricky, whose immune system cost her, like, the first few weeks of school.
Not even the first few weeks.
The whole year.
The first semester. I was sick until February.
Yeah, I really appreciate that I have people looking out for me, even if I don't know what I'm going to do. So it's like at least I had like somewhere to stay, somewhere to like get food, because I didn't know what I was gonna do for like Thanksgiving dinner, like who cooking what and where I'm gonna be at. And I basically kind of like house hopped for Thanksgiving. So I was like, I went to my friend's house, I went to Ashley's house. My aunt apparently cooked something for Thanksgiving, and then like the guy family I brought up, her name's Dee. She had cooked some stuff, so I went by her house. And my aunt Faye cooked me like a pan of macaroni and cheese, and I never got it. And I'm still upset about that to this day, and it's been a year. So like being at NC State, it was like a home away from home, even though it was like small, cramped, and full of hair that didn't belong to me or my roommate, Ricky.
That's another story entirely. That's a bad roommate experience.
But I was like glad that I at least had that to be able to like be in. I had like a solid place to call home, because I was gonna be here for the next 3-4 years. So I was like, at least I have somewhere to be 90% of the time. And I had heard about Trio during orientation. Somebody gave me this little piece of paper saying, hey, if you're a first generation student and all these other like resources and like financial aid, they can help you with this, and they just like, and they have like counseling a little bit, and then you have your academic coach who can like help guide you and like kind of put you in the right direction.
So you learned about Trio through orientation, and that's when you applied.
Yeah, I wrote, because like I think it asks you about like your income and like, are you a first generation student, like all your info and whatnot. And me, I think I wrote like a little side note. It's like, I don't have any income. I think I wrote I don't have parents or something like that.
And they were just like, join us.
Basically.
And I remember your freshman year, my sophomore year, I was basically like, for the first couple of like weeks / months of school, I was sick. So I was sitting in the room a lot. Mm-hmm. And every time I turn around, you were like leaving the room, going to some sort of trio. I'm like, what in the name of Jesus is Trio? I don't know what that is. I've never heard of it before. What is this organization? And you just like, every time I like woke up from my medicated sleep, it was like, I'm going to Trio. What? Where is that? What is that? Yeah,
because they had like, because I stress so easily, and it's like, it's terrible. So like they had this little like stress like 1-on-1 little event thing, and I went to that, and they told you like how to cope with it, what to do. They gave you like all these little tips and tricks and dealing with stress, and when like, and to notice when you're like really back to like stress out. They had like a financial literacy one. They had how to like study and like study tips and test tricks, and it's like it really helped me.
Yeah, because like none of us know how to study. We were all like those kids in high school who was just like, don't have to study, still make an A. Like, don't have to worry about it. College don't work like that. Yeah. So
I don't think I studied. Like, I didn't even study really in high school, even though I had college classes.
Yeah, no, I never studied in high school, ever. Everyone was just like, oh, God, Ricky, you're so smart. I'm like, no, not really.
I'd be guessing.
I'm just, I'm not studying. I'm not doing any work. I'm just taking these tests and making A's.
Don't know how, but I did it.
And then thought I was going to do the same thing in college, and college was like, you're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy.
But Because I was at first in animal science. I was an animal science major when I came to NC State. And that was last year.
Yeah.
Last year, I was an animal science major. I think I was on like the veterinary course of concentration. I switched that by like the spring semester of my freshman year.
You coded so fast. You took un animal science class and was like, I'm out.
I think chemistry threw me off because I had to take like at least 3-4 more chemistry classes. Mm-hmm. I think that's the main thing that threw me off. I feel like if I didn't have to take chemistry, I probably would have stayed. Probably. And it was like I wasn't even like in a real chemistry class. It was like prep chemistry. It's like
was it Chem 101?
Chem 111. It's like prep into like a real chem class.
I don't even know if Chem 101's a class.
I don't think it is either.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, but I know it's like because I took it with another girl, like 2 other friends of mine who were like animal science majors. They did good. I struggled. Like I was like I had like no legs trying to like walk through like water. Like that's how bad I struggled in chemistry.
And then that's when you like switched your major.
I switched. I wait some grades came in after like December 13th or something.
So you remember the exact date.
And I hit coda so quick, the little button. I was ready. And then I took like some English classes to like see if I actually liked it. And I enjoyed myself. So it was a win-win. I got a little science in, said forget that, and I went straight to English, my little comfort zone.
And you've obviously made it through because, like I said, you're here now and still with Trio. So, you know, obviously their resources helped you out a lot, which is, I saw that they were helping you out, and that's when I'm like, I kind of want to get in on this because
Still struggling.
Yeah, I still struggle as far as like trying to figure out when enough is enough and taking care of myself when, you know, I'm doing all this stuff and getting stressed out and not recognizing when I'm being, you know, pushed to my limit. So like, I know Trio helped you figure all that out. And so that's when I was like, I'm gonna join too. And I joined at the perfect time because, you know, that's when I got accepted is right around the time that Jasmine died. So it was like, I need that. I need this support system around me right now. And so, like, there were some other things that helped you, like, deal with everything that was going on, especially, like, grief. Because, like, I know, like, how we deal with stuff sometimes, but, like, for anyone else, I guess, who's out there who's, like, dealing with grief, because you can't see her right now, but she's acting the fool right now. If there was a camera in here, she's just sitting here dancing in this chair, and that's what it is about Qulea and me. We both deal with, like, tragedy with comedy, because we're both, like, clowns, actual clowns. So, like, for anyone, you know, out there who's like, I know not everyone is the same way, but like anyone out there who's dealing with grief or any other sort of like tragedy during times like this, and they're still trying to balance being a college student, like, you know, tell them what you want to tell them about that.
Utilize the counseling center. It is there for a reason, for a purpose, and you must use it if you really think you need it.
Because you use the counseling center.
I used the soul out of the counseling center.
At least freshman year, you definitely did. What was his name? Max?
Max. I miss Max.
Shout out to Max, because
Maxwell
he made my roommate
Brooks.
sane.
Tall, kind of skinny white guy. Like, I really enjoyed, because I was so scared to kind of go to therapy, because I was scared I wasn't doing like what I was supposed to do. Which really there isn't like a thing you're supposed to do. You just go there and you talk. And like it's their job to like listen to you, try to put you on like the right path, and like try to understand you and help you understand yourself. Because if I feel like if I didn't go to the counseling center when I did, I might not be where I'm at right now. I legit might be like somewhere locked up in a corner. Because freshman year was not my year. Like, at all.
And there are so many students on campus right now who are just like dealing with stuff that they don't want to tell other people. So like it's a general feeling of students to just like not want to talk to their friends because they're like, I've already, told them about this, or maybe like they're not going to understand, or they're going to think I'm this or that and all this other good stuff. So it's like they won't talk to anyone because like almost like holding it in, feeling shame or embarrassment or something like that. And you don't have to feel embarrassed to talk to someone.
Yeah. But please, if you're feeling like really down or you just need somebody to talk to, please go to the counseling center. I'm actually going there now because I thought I didn't need it again this semester, but I kind of do. So I'm going as like to test the waters out to get back to how I was at the beginning of the semester. I was on top of everything. I was in this real good mood. I was on top of the world. And then I hit rock bottom, and I'm still kind of like struggling to get out. And I finally decided that I needed to go talk to somebody.
And I think that's also like a really important lesson to learn, because like even if you use the counseling center and you're getting better and you're feeling better and it's like, yeah, I'm fine now, I don't need to do this anymore. We all have roller coaster rides throughout this roller coaster theme park that is college. So it's like you're going to have your ups and then you're going to have your downs, but as long as you're making sure to take care of yourself during your downs, like you're good. Yeah, so how are you doing now, basically? After everything that was happening, your senior year of high school, your freshman year, you're now a sophomore, seasoned in your experiences. Just, how are you doing now?
I can't really answer that because I never really know how I'm doing until like I'm in a certain spot. Because like as of right now, like because what like of all we talked about, I'm kind of like in this little like low mood because like I'm thinking about like my dad and stuff, so I'm getting kind of sad.
And it's okay to be sad.
But usually, I mean, you can't really tell I'm down unless like you kind of like, unless you like really know me and then you just see me like, I guess like maybe lounging a bit extra than I usually do. But like to everybody else, I'm kind of like happy and chipper, and I'm like, no, I'm just goofy, and I'm just trying to like take it like day by day. So.
And we have our apartment now, so we get to live together for the next year, I think, because you're going to graduate next year with me.
Yes.
If I graduate next year,
we
gonna see.
You're not to like leave me when we do this together.
Yeah. So we've got our apartment now, and so that's pretty much your permanent solution now for like where you're staying. But like holidays and stuff like that, do you know where you're probably going to end up going?
It just depends on how I'm feeling and if I can like go home, because it's like I have to rely on my cousin most of the time to get back and forth between like home and school, because she works at Wake Tech, so it's like she's kind of like close to me, and it just depends because like usually she goes like on like this little cruise thing for either Thanksgiving or Christmas or both, so I just have to figure out what she's doing. But if not, I'm most likely just going to be at her house. And if she leaves her truck for me and I have gas money, I'm going to like be at my best friend's house. I might go see Dee. I might go see my nephews. I might just swing through Arcola and see my aunts and uncles.
Because like, because I mean like technically, even though you are staying on campus and you do have like
somewhere to go.
Yeah, somewhere to go while you're here on campus. It's like once you go home, you technically still don't have a home to go to.
Yeah, I'm like a freeloader, but like not a freeloader.
I mean, they're family, but it doesn't feel like freeloading if they're family, I feel like.
I feel like I'm free. I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm like not wanted there, or like I'm like this extra presence that like nobody really like care about sometimes, because it's just like once you start living with a person for like a while, you start picking up on like vibes, and like it just feels weird, and I know I need to just get out of there. So like I'm trying to like plan to like move out sometime after I graduate, so I can like have my own place and feel like a little bit more welcome than I usually do. And it's not like she's like saying, oh, you need to get out of here and all this stuff. It's just like I know I can feel like it's time for me to like go after a while. I've been there too long.
And that's why I'm glad you were able to find like NC State and Trio Support Services, because that's a resource that's going to help you feel like less of a freeloader or less of a burden. So like if Trio is going to help you, like what would you say, how would you want people to help you in this situation? Because remember we were talking about like, there's no shame in asking for help, whether it's like your mental health or, food, money situation. Like at the end of the day, that's what Trio Student Support Services is here for. So it's like, what is your, like, I guess, take on what students in similar situations, or even like you, for example, like what kind of resources should they pull from? What kind of help should they ask for when they're going through something like this?
For those like in Trio, I would say like talk to like your academic coach about what you can like, they could put you in like the right path, like maybe finding housing and just like finding like helping you trying to like get like jobs, like access to like certain resources that can help you out. Because I talked to Rebecca a lot about trying to like figure out where I'm gonna go and like internships and stuff to like put me towards like a job that I can do. Because I gotta be able to support myself somehow. And it's like just find one person that's kind of like would like kind of be helpful or related to like your situation. And if they're not the right person, they'll point you to somebody. Like, and then they might point you to somebody, but like at the end, you'll find like the right person to talk to, and they can help you figure out what you're gonna do, how you're gonna do it, when you're gonna do it, and everything else under the sun.
And for like people like me who have a friend who is going through all this, and maybe like, if there's like a support system in general, because like I know about your situation, I've been your friend for like a year and some change now. So it's like, I know the things going on with you. I know ways to, help you in the times when you're getting in those low moods. Usually it's with humor because I'm a clown, I'm a jester, and the same with you. So it's like, I know the things to help you get through this stuff. But like other students who may have friends that are going through these situations, and like what if they don't know that their friend is like homeless because they're not, saying anything or not telling anyone what they're going through? Like, what's something that they can do to help those people out?
If they're not talking about being homeless, but you have like the suspicion, don't like be like pushy with it and try to like ask them questions, because then they probably gonna hide it more. And from there, I guess like just be supportive, like talk to them, see if there's anything you can do, and like maybe your family could help with.
Yeah, because I told you, my mom was like, bring that baby over here, she gonna eat with us. And I'm just like, I don't know this girl like that yet, but at the same time, like,
I'm not gonna kill you.
That would have been like the thing to do, is like if there's someone who you're close to and you're a support system, the thing is like you and your family can help.
Or maybe like you might know somebody who can help them out. Like you might have like a source like that personally, or like you heard about, and like you might go talk to that person about it to like let them know about like, hey, I have this friend, I think they're homeless, or they like, and like let them know like their situation, and then go to them and be like, hey, I might have something for you you can like do. Here's like this person, I talked to him or her about you and what you got going on, and you like feel free to like go utilize such person. Like don't be scared to help if you can. And also don't be pushy, because like being pushy might not be like what that person needs.
Yeah, because I mean, even though we're saying, throughout this entire thing, like you shouldn't feel shame to ask for help, I know personally I'm a very prideful person.
You are.
So like if no one knows I'm going through something, I'm most likely not. I'm going to try and hide it. I'm going to try and like make it look like I've got it all together. So it's like if you're pushing and you're just like, if you need it, I'm just going to like sit here and like deny all of it.
Because you do it well.
Yeah. I'm an actress, obviously. I lie spectacularly.
Are you lying now?
Exactly. Actually. So, we are coming like closer to the conclusion of this podcast. So, I guess, to basically tie everything together, if there was, one underlying message of, this discussion that we've had that you would want other TRIO students or students in general, students that may be, not a part of this low income first generation community in general, like what would you want for them to get from this and take in and, let marinate?
That no matter who you are, what you have, what you don't have, like I want you to know that you always got somebody watching over you. Like, you might not know it, and it might just be like school stuff, but there's always going to be somebody there to help you no matter what.
Beautiful. You're absolutely right. There's always going to be someone around watching over you. And it's like, if you have your support system with some family, that's going to be where you go to. You can go to your school resources. You can talk to one of your trio advisors. Or if you got a kooky friend / roommate that just like makes your day a little bit better, you've got them too. So thank you so much, Qulea, for sharing your story with us. I know bringing up a lot of those memories has probably not been the easiest thing for you, but the fact that you did and are willing to share with other students, so that way maybe if they're going through a similar situation, they can learn from you and your experience. That's what we're all here for, basically. That's what TRIO is, helping other students get through these 4 years the best way they know how. Or maybe 5, 6, however long it takes you to get out. So thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for having me. I had a lot of fun.
TRIO Student Support Services Program and Student Support Services STEM are federally funded college retention and completion programs. These programs focus on academic, personal, and career support for under-resourced undergraduate students. At TRIO SSS and SSS STEM, our goal is helping our students reach their goals. We are currently accepting new students to our program. Apply today. Go to www.ncsu.edu to learn more about student support services at NC State.